Welcome to Quiet Psychology. Before you try to understand everything, do something simpler first. Look at the 4 symbols and notice which one you feel drawn to right away. Don't force it. Just let your attention land naturally. Even before you think, before you analyze, before you can explain why, your mind has already leaned in one direction. You may not notice it, but some choices don't start in logic. They start somewhere quieter inside you. Something reacts first, and only later your thoughts try to make sense of it. When you look at symbols like these, you are not only seeing shapes, your mind responds to them. It recognizes patterns. It connects them to feelings and memories, even if you can't name them. That is why one symbol might feel calming, interesting, strange, or even uncomfortable. And that reaction matters. This is not a test to label you, and it's not a trick to guess your personality. It's simply an invitation to observe yourself for a few minutes, without pressure, without trying to be correct. So before we begin, here is the only rule. Don't choose with your head. Don't try to interpret, compare, or get it right. Just look quietly and choose the symbol that wakes something up in you. It might be calm, curiosity, resistance, discomfort. Any of that is useful information. There are no right or wrong choices here. Each symbol points to a different way of relating to life. Your emotions, your need for control, your relationship with change, and your desire for freedom. None of these ways is better than the others. They are simply different tools we use at different times. You might choose one symbol today and a different one next year. That doesn't mean you're contradicting yourself. It means you're changing, growing, and adapting. This exercise works because for a moment, you stop trying to control the answer. And when your mind relaxes, your deeper instincts can speak more clearly. If this kind of content helps you reflect in a calm way, support Quiet Psychology with a like and subscribe. It's a small action, but it helps me keep creating space for videos that feel quiet, honest, and easy to follow. Now take one slow breath. Look again. Choose one symbol. The one you chose is not random. And now, let's begin. If you chose the first symbol, order, control, and feeling safe. If you chose this symbol, you probably feel more at peace when life makes sense. This does not mean you are cold or emotionless. It means you value stability. You like clarity. You feel calmer when things have structure and direction. People who choose this symbol often learned early that chaos is stressful. So they became someone who plans, thinks ahead, and tries to prevent problems before they happen. Control became a way to feel protected. And that gives you real strength. Your biggest strength is responsibility. People trust you because you follow through. You keep your word. You handle pressure well. When others panic or get overwhelmed, you often stay steady. You carry things. You hold things together. But there is also a quieter side to this. When you feel that everything must stay under control, it can be hard to rest. It can be hard to delegate. It can be hard to trust. Not because you don't want to, but because letting go can feel like danger. You may also notice that you process emotions through your mind first. You think about what you feel before you fully feel it. Not because you're pretending, but because strong emotions can feel messy and unpredictable, and you prefer what is clear. In relationships, this can show up as doing too much alone. You support others, but you don't always ask for support. You may carry more than you should because you feel safer being the strong one. People might rely on you so much that they don't notice how much you hold inside. This symbol often appears when life is asking for a small shift. Not to lose control, but to soften it. Not everything valuable can be planned. Not everything important can be predicted. And letting go doesn't always mean losing. Sometimes it means trusting yourself to handle life even when the picture is not fully clear. If this message feels familiar, it may be a sign that you're ready to be gentler with yourself and to stop holding everything so tightly. Now we move to the next symbol. Because while some people need order to feel safe, others need emotion to feel alive. If you chose the second symbol, sensitivity, connection, and deep feeling, if you chose this symbol, you likely feel things strongly. You notice details that other people miss. You sense energy shifts. You feel tension in silence. You can often tell when someone says, "I'm fine," but they're not truly fine. This is not something you learned as a technique. It's simply how you move through the world. You may connect with people easily. You listen well. You understand what someone needs, sometimes even before they say it. Your presence can feel comforting, like a safe place for others to relax. But this gift has a cost. When your emotional world is open all the time, you can absorb too much. You can carry feelings that aren't yours. You can get tired without knowing why. Not because you're weak, but because your system is always receiving. Many people with this pattern learned early that being caring made them valuable. Being the helper, the listener, the strong emotional one became a way to belong. And without realizing it, you may have pushed your own needs to the side. You may have said, "I'm okay," when you weren't. You may have smiled while something inside you was hurting. Because you feel deeply, your decisions often include the heart, not only the mind. When something hurts, it hurts fully. When something matters, it matters a lot. In relationships, you may give everything. Sometimes you give too quickly. Sometimes you expect the other person to feel with the same depth. And when that doesn't happen, you may feel disappointment, quiet sadness, or the urge to pull back to protect yourself. This symbol is a reminder. Feeling deeply is a gift. But boundaries are also part of self-respect. Not everything you feel is yours to carry. Not every pain needs to become your responsibility. Protecting your sensitivity does not make you less kind. It makes you more stable and more whole. Maybe life is asking you for balance, not to shut down your emotions, but to hold them without letting them consume you, to choose when to open and when to rest. Now we move forward. Because after deep feeling, some people feel a strong push to change. If you chose the third symbol, transformation, growth, and a new chapter. If you chose this symbol, you may be in a turning point. Something inside you is shifting. You may feel that an old chapter ended, even if your outer life still looks the same. You may not be able to explain it perfectly, but you can feel it. People drawn to this symbol are often going through inner transformation that others don't fully see. It can be a breakup, a loss, a change of direction, a shift in identity, or simply the sense that you no longer fit what used to define you. Your biggest strength is reinvention. Where others cling to the past, you begin to question it. Where others fear letting go, you sense that holding on would be more painful than moving forward, even if moving forward feels uncertain. But transformation is not comfortable. You can feel like you are between two versions of yourself. You are not who you were, but you are not fully who you are becoming either. That in-between space can create anxiety, impatience, or the feeling that life is always about to begin, but never fully settles. There's also a trap here. Sometimes you can confuse growth with constant movement. You can feel like you always have to be healing, fixing, improving, changing. And while growth is valuable, it can also become exhausting if you never allow yourself to pause. This symbol brings a simple reminder. Not every change needs immediate action. Not every process should be forced. Sometimes growth is quiet. Sometimes the best step is to breathe and let the next step become clear in its own time. Sometimes being still is part of becoming. In relationships, you may struggle to stay when things feel stuck or shallow. You want honesty, depth, and real movement. And when you feel a situation can't grow anymore, your instinct may be to transform it or leave it behind. The message here is not stop changing. The message is don't rush yourself. You deserve rest inside the process. You don't need to solve everything today. Now we move to the last symbol. Because after change, many people feel a strong need for space. If you chose the fourth symbol, freedom, space, and being yourself. If you chose this symbol, you need room to breathe. You don't like being boxed in. You don't like being defined too quickly. You want to explore, think, and live in a way that feels true to you, not shaped by someone else's expectations. This is not only about external freedom, it's also about inner freedom. You need mental and emotional space where you can feel like yourself. People drawn to this symbol often have a curious, independent mind. You question what others accept without thinking. You notice details and ideas that don't fit the normal path. And you may keep parts of yourself private, not because you're hiding, but because you know not everyone will understand your inner world. Your biggest strength is autonomy. You can stand on your own. You can make your own choices. You don't need constant approval to feel valid. This gives you a unique view of life and helps you find paths that other people don't even notice. But freedom has a quieter side. Sometimes protecting your independence becomes a wall, not because you don't want connection, but because you fear losing yourself inside the relationship. You may fear feeling trapped, so you keep distance, not to punish anyone, but to protect your balance. You may need silence, time alone, space to think. And when that space gets smaller, your instinct may be to step back. This symbol asks one gentle question. Are you choosing freedom because it helps you stay true to yourself, or because it helps you avoid being vulnerable? Real independence is not about needing no one. It's about choosing how you share yourself without losing who you are. You can be free and still be close. You can have space and still stay connected. The answer is not in extremes. The answer is in awareness and choice. Final message. You are not just one symbol. Now that we've walked through the four paths, order, emotion, transformation, and freedom, here is the most important point. The symbol you chose does not define you completely. It is not a label. It is not a diagnosis. It's more like a snapshot of what you may need right now. All four energies live inside you. Sometimes you need structure to feel safe. Sometimes you need to feel deeply to feel alive. Sometimes you are changing. Sometimes you need space to breathe. The difference is simply which part of you is louder today. And here's a question that can reveal even more. Which symbol did you reject the fastest? Which one felt uncomfortable? Which one felt not for me? What we reject often points to something we've learned to avoid, not because it is wrong, but because it once felt unsafe. Nothing here is final. What fits you today can change later. That doesn't mean you're inconsistent. It means you're growing. If this video helped you reflect in a calm, simple way, support Quiet Psychology with a like and subscribe. It helps me keep making content that is easy to follow and good to listen to. And before you go, remember, you are not one symbol. You are the movement between them.